Hey, it's working. Wow, that's cool. And there is a big delay of where I look like a troll going like this. There, yeah, there it goes. Yeah, sure enough. Look at me. Hey. Alright, I don't know if anyone's here. Or not. Nobody's watching me. I'm all on my own. Okay, watches and bridal shower invites. Okay, I think I set everything up. Cool. Where's the link to this? Because I may have started a touch early. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to set this up because I am going to start this in like a second. I'm just trying to figure out where the chat window is, because this is not a simple thing. How do I say something to people? Hello. Oh, got it. Cool. Okay, I've got that one. And then, what am I missing? I'm missing one thing. Oh, how do I share this? Kayla, can you try and see if you can find my link and share it?
Sure.
With the people? Kayla's over there. Okay, so let's start this thing since we've got one person. How you doing? Chat in the window with me for a second until some people arrive. Have a nice cup of tea. I'm looking at myself doing this, so I'm going to minimize that. So, there we go. Much better. Also, I'll be right back. I'm going to plug in my cord to make sure I'm getting to the interwebs as fast as possible. And I'm back. So, I'm here. What's up, Katie? Sweet. Okay, this is cool. Currently free keyframes are being set often enough, which causes buffering. Note that ingestion. So apparently my video is not doing well. I don't know why. I don't know enough about this system.
Seems fine to me.
Yeah? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Alright, well, we'll just go with it.
Maybe it's because you're just moving very slowly that everyone just thinks it's not working.
No, it's like the internet's telling me it's bad.
Oh,
so
that seems fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, and let's go ahead and do the swappy stuff. If you have any questions or anything along the way, jump in the chat and ask away. What's up, nerd? Hey, Lauren. Okay.
Lauren's watching?
Yeah.
She never watches mine.
That's because you're not cool like me. You don't have this cool peacock hair. Look at that. I look like a raptor.
She doesn't like my
molting bird. Anyways, let's jump over to Webcam and Illustrator. So over here.
Yeah, it crashed when you flipped it.
Alright. We should be back. Looks like it's working again. Is it back? Are we here? Yeah, alright. Good. Okay, so over here you guys can see that this is the design that Kayla kind of wanted me to make for her big fancy bridal shower, right?
Yeah, it's a Paris-themed bridal shower my mom and my sister are throwing for me.
Okay, so she wants something like this, so that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to walk you through the entire process. I was just given this to copy, and we'll go from here and try and remake this. So I'm going to bring this over. And first thing is we want to do, the colors are pink. And I've got this kind of background. This is called your artboard, this square. We're going to hide that because I don't like them. And it should be Control-Shift-H. It's under View. And you can see Shift-Control-H, hide artboards. Now I kind of have my own space to do stuff. We're going to do a rectangle, even though I'm pretty sure when the invites are getting printed, they're going to nip the corners, round the corner edges. It's still good to have data there, so in case when they don't print them curved, they're going to print a square piece and then cut them. So you want to design, allowing them to have some errors. So I'm in pixels, but we're going to want to do a 5x7 invite. And so instead of me having to switch from one to the other, we just put 5 and then the parentheses, which is the symbol for inches. And that will do that. I didn't mean to hit enter. So we're going to take our marquee tool, click, 5, parentheses, that means 5 inches, 7, parentheses, 7 inches. And now we have a 5x7 workspace. So we know that this is, this is our zone. So I'm actually going to open up the file that we have this from here. And I've got it luckily just sitting right on the top of my stuff. I'm going to drag it in just so we can get some of the colors off of it because I know she really likes this color. So we're going to grab the eyedropper tool and we can kind of click and it's going to pick the color, and if we select our shape and then the eyedropper tool, it'll fill this with that color. And that way, as we're working, we also have this over here to kind of go off of. This is someone else's they found online that they really, really liked. So first thing is we need to do a bridal brunch.
Just bridal shower.
Or bridal shower, because we're already making changes. That's why Kayla's here. So let's go ahead and click. I don't know why stuff is already popping up. All right. So we want the word bridal. And we're going to take that. I really need to figure out how to stop Facebook pop-ups. Really bad. Katie says hi, Kayla.
Who says hi?
Katie Baxter.
Hi!
Kayla's on the ground.
I'm making the recipe card to compliment it.
I want to stop.
We should probably match the pinks.
How do I stop? I keep getting pop-ups, and I really don't want them. I'm sorry, everyone. This is a first pancake video. We are not allowing those pop-ups.
How can I give you the pink that I'm using? Oh, I'll just give you the CMYK.
Okay. So anyway, so we got bridal, and...
Change your pink.
Why?
To my pink that I'm making the recipe card.
You're the worst.
Sorry.
All right, what's the scene? What's the number?
9, 37, 18, 0.
That's the pink you
Yeah.
decided to use?
It's, yeah.
This
What?
pink, right? That's purple.
This is pink.
Kayla, look at my
You did
screen.
it wrong.
No, this is definitely a purple.
E1A.
All right, 1 second.
3.
We're trying to color match to what Kayla's doing. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing, just let me know. Okay. You're talking about the hex key number, right?
The CMYK.
You're going to give me the percentages?
Yeah.
What's the C?
9, 37, 18, 0. That's the pink.
Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink.
All right. Okay, so Kayla wants this pink. Exactly. So we've got that pink in there. And the way I did that is I just clicked over here and brought this panel up. And this gives you like 100 different ways to pick what color you're using. So we've got, you can use the hex key number, which is this here. So we are just happy with what we have here now. Again, we need to go back and pick the word bridal. So normally you can draw a bounding box for your text. I don't like to, because when I'm designing words to, be all over the place. So I just click and type, so that way my words have, free reign, and I can really adjust them without having to worry about something. The S's that I really like. Whoop. Always do this. I pick stroke and not font size. So we've got this bridal. This is all capitals. That's why it's looking like that. What if we just do bridal? It's Bridal, right?
Bridal.
Bridal. I believe it's French for to be married. All right, that's one option. Font picking, as if anyone's been following my very illustrious career on YouTube doing design with me, you'll know that I have a very, very hard time with font. Oh, I like that actually a lot. because I am so picky about font. Of course, what I want is nothing what Kayla wants. So, design. So she wants like a scripty font. And since this is for personal use, I'm using a lot of my font.com, D-A-F-O-N-T. They have tons and tons and tons of fonts that are super, super awesome, that can totally help you start getting some really great fonts in here and you know, building your library. Angel Face is really pretty.
Yeah, I like Angel Face.
We'll save
I
it.
like Bromello is the one I use a lot too.
Which one is it?
You probably don't have it. It's Bromello.
Bromello?
B-R-O-M-E-L-O.
You don't know me. Yeah, I don't have Bromello.
Yeah, I love that one.
Is that the one you want?
No, I'm just saying it's a script font. Yeah, I'm using Angel Face on the SD card too.
Yeah, at least we were consistent there. Right? Isn't picking fonts just the worst? And there's so many, and there's not like a good way to see them. So like as you're like going through, it's like, I don't know, is this the font? Is this the right font? So this is my process. So this is gonna be slow because I haven't edited this video at all. You're getting the brutal, real life, real time version of what it takes for a design to happen. Now, this is for all stickers. Also, since you guys are here, and since I know you guys like stickers, I'm going to give you a little bit of sneak peek real quick. Jumping over to, this is the new panda set we're working on. I'm not done with it yet. This is for sure staying, this pattern. This pattern's for sure staying.
Maybe.
These two I'm still trying to tweak out.
We're in debates.
I think I'm going to make like a whole umbrella set and really try and work on the little Japanese umbrellas. And we got, you know, a little panda eating. And so this would have been a fun one to show you guys how I did. There was a lot of really cool, simple tricks I did to build these out. But the worst part of designing for me, so if you guys are trying to get better at this, is that the initial design phase where you're trying to like kind of figure out what you're doing, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. The pandas before this, they're actually like 3 times the size they were, and just hideous. And it took me like asking, ooh, that's pretty. Sorry, ADD. It took me like asking Kayla like 4 or 5 times until I got something. I was like, yeah, that is right. So I needed to call in phone a friend. Oh, of course, it's the one I actually like. All right, I think we're getting the clear. We're getting close, guys. We're getting real close. I can feel it. We're gonna need a non-script font. I always tend to lean towards Market Deco. It's one of my favorite fonts. I think I might try and sneak it in on this one too. But I'm glad you guys like the pandas. Makes me happy. Rockwell's not bad. Okay, we're gonna do this one. And then we'll do Angel Face. Well, I could do Angel Face. Let's just try it. Okay, so once you have your font picked, we're gonna take Angel Face. We're gonna try it with Angel Face first. If it doesn't work, we're gonna try something else. Hopefully not having to actually get in where we have to edit the font a little too heavy. And I can explain all of that. Yeah, one second. Bringing the camera back. Kayla wants to show you something.
I'm making this.
So Kayla's trying to make a recipe card
and
at the same time.
Make the lines.
And
do the lines.
The lines aren't equidistance apart. So I will quickly do a side tutorial to show you guys this.
I'm just saying, real life help.
See, you know.
I need
so
it.
We're gonna draw a couple quick lines. Give them a stroke.
Oh, I gotta watch the video.
So you've got this here, and we're gonna just dupe them. Of course, they're already perfect because I make my stuff perfect the first time. But let's say we had a sloppy mess that, like what Kayla's dealing with.
They're not sloppy.
Whatever. Wouldn't need my help if they weren't. So let's say we had this sloppy mess that, like I said, Kayla's dealing with right now. what you can do is up here when you highlight multiple items, it opens up a like an option menu up at the top, and the 6 on the left will align them, and the 6 on the right will distribute them. And what I mean by align is, boom, center all their lines. So now they're all centered, but see how we've got this weird spacing in this one? We can even exaggerate it a little. So you see that? So what we do is we come over here, and this is vertical distribute center. And how this works is it takes the topmost thing and the bottommost thing and puts the distance between everything in the middle between those two. So when you click that, it automatically distances everything, which we will probably be doing when we do this invite card a little later. But there you go. Does that answer your question, Kayla?
No.
What do you mean?
It's not working.
Did you highlight more than one thing at a time? I don't understand.
I don't know. I'll just wait.
Okay. I don't know what Kayla doesn't get. I guess I'm bad at this because I can't even tell Kayla about it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. All right. So coming back down here, we're going to go to Bridal. And notice, so this kind of goes up and over. And so how we do that for ourselves is we go to here. It's a little warp tool, make an envelope. We're going to click on it, and it gives us a bunch of options. You can also access this through Effect and Warp. And what we want is a wave. Well, no, we don't want a wave. Wave makes this cool, like, beach font, which I really usually tend to lean towards. I think it's actually flag. But with script fonts, this stuff can get real gnarly. And that's why I wasn't sure if this would be a good... Rises are good. I think we'll do... A rise seems to behave better. I do not like that at all. I think we might have better luck with this. I should bring back the angel. I just did, and then they go in and they actually edit these to make the swirly cues and stuff. So we need to really find a better font that's not a script, because like I said, script does not handle being manipulated in that way at all well. It's just the nature of script. So back to trying to pick a font. I'm really trying to find a nice B. That's what is really guiding this decision. Poor Richard's not bad. I could make that work. Alright. Let's see, so it kind of stopped us from going down the rest of my list. I think we're going to give Poor Richard a shot. I've always had good luck with him. Element OP, gotta learn my alphabet. Alex, H-I-G-K, Poor Richard. Fine, whatever. Poor Richard. There we go. Let's see if we can't make this work. And this is what's kind of cool about redesigning someone's artwork. That's cool. Make the word bridal a little bigger. Bring that over there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on it. Once we have it kind of how we want it, object and expand. And this is the big trick. Is now it went from being words that you could adjust, now they're just shapes. So if I ungroup it and I come in here with my direct select tool, I can start manipulating, gosh darn it, if I select a point, I can start manipulating the actual way the word is made. And so that gives me this base font. So now if we're going to go take a look at what's coming, oh no, good night, R. I think there's a way you can rewatch it.
Yeah,
And I can totally do this earlier next time. I just did this because I needed to get it done, and I felt horrible I didn't have a video up for a week. I am working on 3 other videos besides this. But anyways, so sorry. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, so I'm coming through, and so how they get this little swirl is exactly what I'm showing you now, is they come in and they just start, you know, tugging and pulling and re-changing the font. So even though this is Poor Richard, we're gonna try and beef it up a little, and you know, make Poor Richard a little better. So it's not gonna be pretty, but I'm gonna show you a trick how once you kind of get the basic shape you want, how to make it prettier. And I'm gonna add a point. I kind of want that nice big round schnoz that's on those R's. Oh, hey! Sorry you couldn't hear me. Ah. I'm glad you guys are tuning in, and if I'm boring you, just let me know. I'll start singing a show tune or something. Or if you guys want to ask me questions, I can relay them over to Kayla and ask Kayla questions and, you know, make her answer them. All your questions about planning revealed. What's your favorite? Dang it, Kayla! Thanks for the support, sweetie.
I'm just sitting here talking to you.
Okay. Still looks wrong.
It is a very deep pink. Maybe bump down the opacity.
I'll make fun of her on her live streams.
Yes, you do. You're on my live streams.
I make your live streams, girl.
Yeah, you have to talk because otherwise it's quiet. And you just...
Well, I know, because, like, that's the thing, is, like, this is what it looks like. Okay, so here's the cool trick I was going to show you guys. Over here, you got this smooth tool. It's under the pencil tool. You can come in and kind of just start drawing around the curve that you want, and what it's going to do is it's going to try and smooth out the shape. So even though, like, I wasn't perfect in getting it, you know, right, because we're only going for aesthetics here, I can just take this and you know, kind of start drawing over. Maybe I want this a little smoother. But I'm actually editing my own font right now. You could say it's fontabulous, but then you would be using a word I just made up. Alright, so now we're gonna just kind of that. I want to kind of highlight. Gosh darn it. That's why I should lock the background. That'd be a cool trip to show you. Okay, so under layers, you've got all these things we're working on. The word bridal and all this in this pink background. What I'm trying to do is highlight R, but it won't let me because I keep moving the background. So what we're going to do is we're going to lock the background. And we do that by clicking here next to the eye. And now the background, the pink is just locked. It doesn't move at all. It acts as though it's there. Would you design a Canada Day kit for us Canadians? Don't I have a Canada? Oh, you want a whole kit for Canada Day? Yeah, I could do that. I could totally do a Canadian Day. Maple syrup, a Mountie, some mousse, some meese, some geese, because they're Canadian. Trying to think what else would go good in a Canadian kit. I could go for some chocolate right now. Anyone else? Just me?
I'm not gonna get you chocolate.
Come on, Kayla, give me chocolate.
You already had chocolate.
Kayla, why don't you
lie to you guys? You already had a Kit Kat.
Kayla, why don't you love me?
Go wait till I'm having fruit.
Kayla doesn't love me. I want you all to know that. You all saw this. Oh gosh, that has just gotten horrible. We are designing on an awfully small scale, so when you use the arrow keys, they tend to jump around. Can you, like, run it over here, Katie? Please? Just get me with that chocolate fix. Because I would so be down. Yeah, we're getting a nice little R. Zooming in. You can actually just remove that anchor point. Alright. And I did that because I really wanted the R to have that nose, because when we go to do a little bit of this drawing in here where they do this nice, almost like a German painting farm style, it would be really heavy if the R didn't have anything. And you know, we could even make it even more curlier if we wanted to. There is a dirty secret, I guess I could show you guys. Chocolate would totally be good from a flight from New Zealand. Just fly me to New Zealand. I will totally take that. Anyway, so here's the dirty secret that I don't want to show anyone because it is too easy. When you bring it in here, you can click on an image and do image trace. And over here on the sub menu, we can just select color. You guys have stuck around long enough, I guess I can show you the evil of how easy it is to steal someone else's artwork. And what it's going to do is it's going to try and find all the lines and highlight them. And with some tweaking of the settings over here, we could even do a high fidelity photo, which Lord knows my computer is, you know, sweating right now trying to do this live stream and edit images because it's an older model. It's going to go through and really make the same thing they did, but in Illustrator with all the little design points and palettes. And now that we kind of have that, we could go through and, you know, it's ours. We have all the info. If we just click expand, those are all the thousands of little points it did. And we could even hone this even more using those points. But yeah, it's an easy way to just kind of rip someone's work, because now we can go in and select all this, kind of delete these color fields, replace it with the right pink, put our name in here. Now it does look a little watercolory, but you know, depending on the art style, you can almost get an exact carbon copy of what someone else has done. And that's not really cool to do to people. But I mean, if you're using it for yourself, I mean, you can't. No one's gonna knock you too much. It's if you try to take it and sell it, that's when you're gonna get a beating. So we got Bridal. Kind of want them thicker. So, highlight our word here. Maybe give it a stroke. Maybe not so much stroke. Let's pick a font that plays nicely, like a brown, chocolate. Okay. So we've got that. We got the Bridal. Let's go take a look back at what we just had over here. Is there anything? Theirs just looks so much prettier. I like how tall their words are. I think that's a thing we should try and mimic. So we're going to come in and make everything taller. So, boop. Oh, didn't get all the A I needed. Zoom in, click on the 2 points. I'm just using the arrow keys and selecting tool. Obviously that's a little too much. That kind of lightens it and it lifts it up. We could highlight these guys and use the up arrow, giving it a little height, and that way they're you know, in unison. The eye can be moved over. And we want to select all of it, so we're going to ungroup this. Move the eye over. I don't know. Kayla jumped out of the room. What I hope to do is to get me chocolate, but I know that would be wishing. I'm sure we're going to do a live stream soon. We've just been super crazy with trying to get the store set up, and then the shipping fiasco that happened this morning with the Whoop sale. It has just been a lot of work around here lately, and I'm trying to get more into consulting so we can have a, you know, a little secondary income just in case, you know, stickers stop sticking. So yeah, I don't really know. I know that's not what you really want to hear, but I'm sure soon. I think we had one planned for the end of the month, I thought, but I can't be sure. We also have tasting for our wedding coming up. And take that smooth tool. Using control, you can flick between what tool you have and the last select tool you used. So now I can come in and kind of smooth out this B that we stretched out. Maybe lift this guy up a little. I don't know if that's going to be too much of a order. That's not too bad, huh? And take the tool. What are you guys doing right now that you decided to tune into my Mr. Alex's super amazing, awesome, handsome making this thing video? Okay, so I think we're getting really good on this bridal. I think maybe a little more tweaking on, you know, the D. Oh my god, that came out horrible. A little more tweaking on this letter to kind of give it some thickness so we can have, you know, something a little nicer. Bring back that smooth tool. Come on in and smooth it out. But too much, Control Z. Alright, so we've got bridal, and then we want the word A. So we're going to take this, type capital A. Take the I, copy that, copy. So now we've got a bridal shower. We can give it a good old warp. And since it's still rise, we're just going to try and match the same incline that we had on the bridal, which is about right there. So we got a nice little rise. Retail marketing, huh? That seems interesting. Trying to figure out how to save a color scheme in AI. Oh, I can show you. That's what I'm here for. I'm literally here just to work on a project, and if you guys want to need help with anything. So if you've got a color scheme, yo, I'll solve it. We're going to actually, that'll be great. I'll make a color scheme for this. So first thing we're going to do is do a new color group. Click on this. We're going to name this Bridal Invite. So if I go too fast, just let me know. So again, that's go over to your color swatches. There's this little folder, new color group. You're going to click on it and do Bridal Invite. I'm going to throw some colors. It has gray because that's what I had selected when I hit new color, so we don't want that. I'm going to select this. I'm just going to drag this into the folder so we get some colors going. Come on. So we got that. I like it when I can help. The background's locked, so that's why I'm not able to get the pink. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the background, click on it, take the pink, drag the pink over, relock the background so I don't mess up later. So now you've got this. So now you want to save it. You go down to this little color library, and it says save swatches. You're going to save swatches, and when you save swatches, what this is going to do is it's going to save everything in this menu. So if all you want is just this brown and yellow, what I recommend is clicking on the last one, holding shift, and going all the way up to white, and just deleting them all. And I do that by dragging down in here, and that way that's your color that's left over. And so now when you come in and let's say you want to reopen it, I've got my user defined. Here's the horizontal colors. I click this, and it's going to bring up that swatch menu. But because they're in a folder, I can just click the folder, and then it adds it over here. Does that make sense, Kimberly? Okay. I know it takes a second from what I'm doing to what you guys are doing. So I apologize for the delay. Okay. Super easy, right? Is that what you wanted? I'm actually going to get rid of this. Actually, I like this pink a lot more. Maybe I can convince Kayla to let me use some of these colors. Oh well, neither here nor there. Boop. Okay, so we have a bridal. And then now we need the shower. How did they do the shower? Brunch. She wants a bridal brunch. Now this is a cursive font. Also, I noticed their words are bigger and take up more of the space, so we can, once we have this, what's nice is we can just highlight everything. Holding down shift to keep proportion, we can make it bigger. And there we go, we've got that there. Maybe make A a little smaller. Bring that up there, and we'll put some flourishes between the A and the B to kind of, give it a little flavor. Yeah, group is just a folder. Library, I mean, they're almost the same. So I totally understand the confusion. So we still have that effect on this, so we're going to take it and expand appearance. But I'm in the wrong tool for that. Object, expand. Boop. Now I've got that. We can take our direct select tool, and this A just kind of has that sad little fall down, so I want to kind of lift it up. Like I said, it's not pretty. It looks like I'm breaking its toe. But we can fix that with the that smooth tool. Or you can do it by hand. Yet because the dimensions are so small, when you use the arrow keys in a 5x7, it's going to make it jump around. So the way you combat that is you actually, although Illustrator is all poor toe, the way Illustrator is set up is that even though everything is, you can get super small and super big, when you click the arrow button to move something, it goes by pixels. So we're going to highlight everything. We're going to use this tool, and we're just going to make it way bigger. That way, when we use the arrow key, the changes are more subtle. So going back in here, now when I click on a dot, you can see it's not jumping around as much. It's like probably about a third of what it was doing. And I could just keep going in and tweaking that a little. Oh, I gotta lock the background again. Whoop. Yeah, much better. Less craggly looking. And then we'll take our smooth tool, select our shape, and then just draw some happy lines. Look at these little happy lines. Yes, I'm referencing Bob Ross. Okay, so we've got these lines, and that's good. I like that. I think it looks maybe a little too wide, but again, you can just come in, kind of smudge the lines up. broken toe grew out a little wide. And we've got that. So now we've got a nice little rise on the A that I think looks good. We'll move it over a little. And if we want to do a full adjustment, we could just bring it in a little. There we go. I think, yeah. It's probably just a little too wide. There we go. So we got a bridal. So now we need to do a brunch. So again, coming back here. Actually, we could just come up here. Let's see if this font's going to be right for us. A brunch. I don't know if I want a capital B or not. But I do like the look of this font. Maybe we don't even... So in the one we're trying to copy off of, they do a rise. And this in honor of kind of gives it a whimsicalness. But if I do a straight... they already do a straight across for the name. That's why. Because we could do a bridal brunch here. Move these gals up. Yeah, of course it's going to take forever because we're bigger now. Move these guys a little taller. So we got a bridal, and then we could put Kayla in between two font, but I kind of like the look of everything revolving around her name. So yeah, we are gonna match them. Come back up here, go to the warp tool. It's a rise. We're gonna increase the percentage of that rise. I don't know if Kayla wanted a shower. She ran away. But here's the cool thing: is once we have it, we could just jump back to the T tool as long as we haven't. What do you call it? Not extrapolated. Mine? Oh. Hey, Kayla. Do you want it to say bridal brunch or bridal shower? All right, I'm turning my volume up, guys.
Shower.
Sorry. This is better? Is this better? You want to say shower?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we can replace with shower. And we've got that. But when you do that, it tries to keep the same proportions that you had. And so to go in and change the arch that we have, you go over here. And it's under the appearance tool. And it'll show you graphic styles. Why have you forsaken me? I know you exist here. Why you no show me? For Rizzle? What? Okay, I promise I'm not crazy. It is here. You click this and it should show you the arch. Oh, it's a font. That's why. That might be why. Because the font would have a different... Up here, you can just click it here and it would let you adjust it inside natively. Oh, I didn't realize that. I don't really work with font a lot. I don't know if you guys know that. So it's up here. This is the way. And it changes the bend. Here's another weird thing about Photoshop. It moves when you adjust this stupid thing. So to show you that it is actually changing, it changes, but it likes to dance and run off the screen. And I have yet to find a solution. I just have to bring it back up and try again. Bum, bum, bum. Oh. But what might even be easier is let's go ahead and undo all this. Let's retype. Let's type shower. See, I think that looks good, but this obviously for ladies. That was angel face. She wants it lowercase. Take it, make it bigger. Rather than dealing with that weird, the reason why I don't like dealing with font is because it can get a little tricky. But since we know she wants shower now, we can just go ahead and object expand. And now that it's expanded, we can still do the warp. You just go up here, go to warp, and now we can do, you know, what do we have? We have the rise. And so we can still affect it exactly how we would have before, but at least now we're not dealing with that weird Oh, hit Control Z. Wrong one. Now we're not dealing with the weird one. I've been using Illustrator for about a year. Solidly. I've done Photoshop for a while. I get kind of nervous when I design in front of other people. So I feel like I have to be right away. And that makes me a little nervous. But yeah, I've been using Photoshop for about a year. Every day for a year. So I know that Photoshop or Illustrator is, I mean, it's like a shopping mall. I might know where everything's at, but I don't know the intimacy of everything because some stores I just don't need to go to. So with font, I don't make a lot of font-based items. I do a lot of making caricatures and things like that, which is a lot more of the pen tool and using effects and things like that. So for me, that's my powerhouse. So Kayla wanted this done. I needed a video, so I figured I would awkwardly struggle through this in front of you because I love looking like an idiot. And that's why, you know, if I seem like I don't know what I'm doing, I promise you I do. It's just this is a little outside of my wheelhouse right now because I haven't had to deal with this for too long. Anyways. So we're still having that effect on it, so we're going to go ahead and click object, and we're going to expand again. So now that arch is applied to it, or the rise is.
Mom wants it to say luncheon.
Really?
Yeah. She's watching.
Is she really?
Yeah, that's how she...
I was like, how does she know?
She told me about the volume, and she told me about luncheon.
Oh. Okay, well apparently this is supposed to say luncheon, guys.
Lunch-e-on.
Great. I was going to make it say Superman shower, so... Shower! So, since Kayla's mom is watching me design this, and she's the one hosting this event, I have to now make it say luncheon. So we're going to start all over. Luncheon. I think that's how you spell it. Can someone spell check for me? Did I spell luncheon right? Luncheon? Anyone? I know it takes a minute for you guys to hear me. I just tuck that up there. Luncheon's a pretty word. How does it look like if we do that? Yeah, I spelled it right. Thank you. I'm the worst speller. I one time was responsible for designing, back in college, a shirt and posters. And I spelled, what word was it? I spelled like a simple word wrong. I think I spelled worn, and I spelled it as worm. And we printed out $300 worth of materials that said worm on it, and we had to throw it all away. So, yeah, I know better than to trust my own spelling. I do like luncheon in this font. I think this is actually probably the best choice we've made yet. And that's why fonts are so hard, because certain fonts I love, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, the word's like poop, and it just doesn't look good. It betrays you. So that's kind of matching. I don't know, I think it gets a little squished. Yeah. I don't think it needs to follow it perfectly then. Where are we at? Right about. That's good. And we can use E, which is the transform tool. So if we select this, and because it's grouped together, and you click E, it's going to bring up this transform tool that I was saying. And you can free to store it, meaning like using these points, you can kind of manipulate the whole shape to get it just right. And I'm pretty sure you can even come in and free transform the inside points too if you wanted to, which I do not. So there we go. Kind of like a little follow-up luncheon. I want to make sure the color is the same. Is it? No. Doop. Thanks for the compliment. I'm glad I'm just happy you guys are here to hang out with me, because designing gets a little boring. And I talk to myself anyway, so I might as well let other people hear me do it. Okay, so we've got a bridal luncheon, and let's see, what else do we want on this thing? In honor of, and then her name, which we'll just do in a regular curly font, and then the info, which, sadly guys, I will be just typing in blah-de-blah-de-blah, because, you know, it's a little private, and we don't want just a bunch of people showing up, even though there's only 7 of us, and it'd be cool if you did, but apparently, you know, that's a thing that privacy is a concern. So we're going to do the lovely Kayla Cornell. Increase that font size. And the reason why I'm doing the text first, which is actually backwards from how I would usually do it, is again, we will be putting this flourish and designing our own flourish, which I'll actually not be crap at, and putting that all over the place. And obviously that clearly needs defined districts for text, so I'm trying to do that over here. And this background, I like that painted look. Yeah, they did a textured background. We'll have to apply that in a second. Make sure we're still pulling the same font colors. This little swatch over on the side is nice. So the lovely Kayla Cornell, and then this is where the font box will actually be useful. We're going to put her info here, and I'm just going to fill it with blah 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 on the day of the Lord, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we've got that there, and that's where that block of text is, and we'll make that work when it happens. And I'm going to give it a little stroke just so it kind of matches the thickness of everything. Actually, I wonder if I can steal Rockwell. I like Rockwell. Of course, it's huge. Let's bump that font down to a reasonable size. 18 is way too small. 60, maybe even more. Perhaps more. I forget we're not designing an actual 5x7 size anymore because we increased the size of everything. So size 18 no longer means size 18. Even though that probably would have fit in this design in a 5x7, this is much larger than 5x7 now. It's not intimidating, Janet. I promise you. Girl, this is super easy. It's just goofing around and realizing, like, for some reason people always think that, like, if they mess around with it, it's just going to explode in their face. And it's not. It's, you know, it's like pulling out some paint brushes, and the cool thing is if you suck at it, you can undo it. And that makes me super happy because I oftentimes, I have this, like, complex where I'm always like, I'll give you a perfect example. We walked into our clay class where we were doing pottery, and I was like, how hard can pottery be? Every show does it, you know, Ghost and all those other TV shows where they show you making clay pots. I'm like, yeah, right. And what can you do? Throw pots and maybe a bowl or some other stuff. It never is a difficult task. So I was like, I'll probably make the best thing he's ever made, and I'll do it twice. And I walked in, and I couldn't even make a bowl. And I was just so intimidated. I was like, man, I always have too much self-confidence. But, Tara, I'm telling you, no, if you like pen and paper, and you can draw it out, technology still can help. I'm trying to debate if I want to do the next sub, which, spoiler alert, you guys get to hear it here first, it's hot air balloons. If I'm going to do them by hand or not, and do watercolors. And what I'll do is I'll do the same thing I did over here. I'm going to take it, paint everything in watercolor, and then scan it in with a high photo density, like this. And, you know, turn them into little graphics that have a little, you know, faded look to it. I'm still trying to figure out if that's maybe what I want to do. So, all right, now for the fun part. We'll worry about putting the dots on the letters last, and let's just make sure I'm not missing any. Oh, yeah, in the honor of. See, you guys let me forget. And we want to make sure this is thirds using layout. So thirds means draw tic-tac-toe board and put all the interesting junk on those lines. So we know we have a third line here, and we've got a line here. So in the the points is where that info should be kept, and it just kind of keeps it nice and neat. Plus, having equidistance between the bottom and the top of these two things isn't going to hurt us either. So, all right, cool. Let's get to it. So, I'm just going to draw a nice, fun little curve here. And we're going to use Shift X to make whatever the front color is to the back color, mostly because I just wanted to show you a cool feature. Jump over to the swatches. We're going to make it light gray, because I have a thing about not trying to avoid using pure white and pure gray or pure black when I'm designing. I think just lately I've just been in no black, no white design mode, just because.
Oh, they wanted to say bridal shower luncheon. Yell at my mom. She and Christy are just having a convo.
Well, okay, so apparently they're watching and they want a bridal shower luncheon, and they're not going to get it. So we're going to go back to doing the fun stuff. And so over here in this tool here, the width tool, is how you can change the thickness of the line. I kind of got ahead of myself. We're going to click on this, and what we want to do is make the top and bottom rounded. And then we're going to jump over to our width tool. We're going to grab this point here, and we're going to make it thicker at the top, and we're going to thin the bottom up. And that way it looks like one of those like flower leaves kind of jumping out thing. Now it's a little big because I didn't know how much that width tool, you know, was going to affect it, so we can just shrink it down. And maybe we'll have it kind of match the curve of the B here. And then we're going to hold Alt and drag it over. Right click, transform, reflect. And now we've got a sister compadre, and we're going to just bring that right up in here. We've kind of got this here. Now I want this to kind of obviously flow better with the A, but because it's still just a line, we can still just manipulate it like we always did. And maybe bring this up here and drag that down so it has like a nice little toodaloo. This shape has a toodaloo, by the way. Cool. I'm glad you guys like the hot air balloon and watercolor idea. I'm still not sold on it because I also think it'd be cool just to do on its own, like design it in the computer. But yeah, for now I have to find my watercolor stuff. It's still in one of those boxes that we haven't unpacked yet. So yeah, this is basically what we're going to do. And so if you notice on the other one, all their stuff is like super delicate and super frilly. But all they are lines. And yeah, I realize now, looking at mine, I am like Shrek. And I am just all for the thick lines. So maybe we'll skinny it up a little. But here's a great thing. All you have to do is just change the width. Look, we're making it real pretty. Do do do. Do 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 do. And I'll come in here, we'll grab this point down here, and we'll just use the arrow key and bump it inside so it seems to like it's lined up. And there you go. Now it's nice, light, and delicate. Maybe we'll throw a couple circles. Shift X so the outside's that. Using the Alt button, I'm going to duplicate the shape I just made while I Alt and drag, and we'll make it bigger And we'll do it again. Now, I could get real complicated. Like, if this was for a logo and I wanted it to be perfect, I would have these follow the curve and, you know, take hours and hours of time for little things. But that's one thing I love about designing stickers, is it is all aesthetics. So I really don't have to sweat making sure everything's perfect. And I can really just focus on, you know, the prettiness of it. So that's nice. A couple lines there. Probably want to accent this long part. So let's go and start from up here. Have it come down. Top of a curve. Whoop. Guess we can make it a little wider. And come around. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to line these 2 points up, and I'll show you a trick about how to make a shape that matches itself. Okay, so even with this, you can direct select and still use these tools to vertically align. So now these 2 dots are perfectly in line with each other. And then I can go back and adjust the curve without moving the line. And then now I can Alt, drag, right click, transform, reflect, above, okay. If I hit Control Y, it's going to show me just the lines and remove all the fill colors and everything. And the reason why is right now I'm trying to get these lines to be perfect. So we're going to just have them, we just want the tips to touch. And normally I have my auto locks on. I think I turned them off. Now I can hit Control Y again and it's going to bring it back. And although this is an ugly shape, what I've really done, ta-da, no, ta-da, is I made a nice little curly cube. And all we have to do now is come in here, select the 2 points, right click and click join, and now it's one line. And so we can take this B, oop, we don't want to edit it, we'll bring it down a little. Again, we're going to stroke, round the edges. And now that the edges are rounded, we can take our width tool. We maybe even do some of the pre-made stuff, just kind of goof around, see what they look like, give it some thickness. Make sure we're kind of following. I don't like that too much. I think I'm gonna do it by hand. So we're going to take that width tool again. We're going to give the edges a little bit of a bulge. Or come in and you can just click on here and it's automatically going to add a point. Oh my Lanta, let's see, there's an edge here because those 2 points that joined, there still must be, yep, 2 individual dots. So all we have to do is remove one. And now it's going to make it look real ugly. Actually, I don't even mind that. What if we do that for both sides? Made it like a point. Like that. What about that? Do we like that? Check that out. I like it. If we didn't want this sharp corner on here, what we can do is direct select and go to stroke, and what we'll do is round the corners, which I think looks lovely. So bam, now we've got our B. So now you're just going to end up watching me do this exact procedure over and over again until I have flushed out a nice bridal. I like how this one, I like how the fleurs kind of, there's these 3 little runs on the back of it. I think that's really pretty. And then there's all this space up here we're going to have to fill, so, you know, maybe get a little bigger swoop. Yeah, I don't know if that last one's going to be needed or not. So yeah, I didn't do it perfect, and I'm going to do that thing I showed you guys earlier where all you do is you take your smoothing tool and just smooth it out. Smooth it out. Yeah, I can add texture to the background. It's mostly the secret is having something that you want as texture, or having some kind of pattern that you already like. Maybe if I go this way, it might get me that better swoop shape. So to kind of, I guess I can pause and show you how I'm going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is unlock the background. Boop. Click it, Control C, Control F. Control C allows you to copy the background. Control F will take the background and put a copy of it right in front of itself. So now you can see I put a copy right on top. Now what we need to do is just get like a pattern. So maybe this one. That might not be bad. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. Well, let's see what other patterns we have. I know I seem crazy. I promise I'm not. So under here, I went in libraries. There's a pattern tab. We can do, you know, basic or decorative. And it's going to pull up some in this super small window. You can change that by going here and do a large thumbnail. And try and see if maybe there's a good pattern we want. Obviously, everything's script. We like the crazy. Obviously, everything's script, so we're going to want to try and avoid like harsh edges or something too simple. We're going to want something that has, you know, a nice, yeah, look at these flower patterns. These are gorgeous. Yeah, that's it. Plume 1 for sure. So how we're going to change this is, next thing we need to do is, or at least what I'm going to do, there's a couple different ways. You can double click on this, and what it's going to do is bring up the pattern editor, which will let you edit that pattern directly. So in case I did that too fast because you weren't paying, you know, we're a little bored, it's over here on your swatches. Just double click, and then you can come in here and pick your colors. Now we know the background color is this pink, so I'm just going to select the pink for that, double click, and we are going to darken it. And then we're going to select the other color, which was lighter, and we'll pick the pink again, and we are going to lighten that even lighter. We're going to pick this third color, and I'm just going to make that the same light pink. And you can see how these changes are being reflected over and over again in the pattern. I know I have a lot of videos explaining how to make patterns too, so I'm not going to get too into detail about how I'm really doing all this magic. Alright, I need V. So we're going to select all these little guys, and we'll make them the nice dark color. And then we hit done, and that's our pattern. Still super busy, still super not pretty. So we're going to right click on it, and we're going to hit transform, and we're going to scale. And we want to transform pattern, not the object. So what this is doing is it's making that background pattern bigger inside the box. So we can take it and make it nice and big, but keeping the swirls, and then we'll click OK. And here it is. Dun, dun, dun. We click opacity, and we're going to lighten the opacity. And now there's just a nice text box behind it. Like you can see over here, they have a pattern that was dancing around the edges, and then it gets brighter in the middle. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take rounded rectangle tool, and we're going to do a rounded rectangle behind the bulk of the text. We're going to let it bleed in a little, and using the up and down arrow keys while still holding down, We're going to adjust the corners to give us a nice similar thing. That's obviously not what we want. We want a nice cream tone. So I'm going to start with this hideous yellow kind of thing, which I find if you just lighten up, gives you a beautiful cream. And we are going to go over here to the gradient tool. Oh, didn't do what I wanted. We're going to do radial. We're going to change the, I think it's the angle is how you make it taller. No, that's actually just rotating it. This is how you make it taller, one way or the other. There we are. We're going to change the radial back to 0. Boop. Perfect. So the inside color is what we want that yellow to be. So we take that, come over here, and we're going to lighten it up like that. And then over here, whoop, dang it, didn't mean to add it. All you got to do is click and drag down, or click and drag to the garbage, and it'll remove it. Come over here and make the opacity 0. But you're still going to want this color to be something, because now it's trying to blend with black to dark. So we're going to go in and pick that and control all the way behind it. Left bracket, control right bracket again, and it brings it forward. And you know, Kayla likes that dark pink, and that is just not my jam. Wow. I wonder if I can make it a little lighter. Yeah. More like that, and then we need to go back and stretch this again. Yeah. That ain't so bad, right, guys? To sorcery. Box. You can also we want to make this lighter. No. Okay. We'll back this off the edges a little. There we go. And now we can just take this, and then what we could do is maybe just make it bigger since there's a bigger edge. And that way it gives us a nice fade to middle, but you're still getting that pattern. And maybe we want to make that pattern, you know, at another time. 10% gradient, or maybe the colors are too drastic on there. We could even do blending options. Which I have to try. I haven't done that in this. I can do it in Photoshop in the blink of an eye. I think it's under. Yeah. The effect tool is really super useful for what you're trying to do, because it will let you just like you've seen it with the warp and the arc and the other stuff. It really gives you a lot of power, but I'm used to using it in Photoshop, so I'm not really paying attention all the time to where I put stuff. So yeah, here it is. Diffuse Glow. Which this looks wrong. Anyways, diffuse. Oh, I didn't have anything selected. That would do it, Alex. If you did a diffuse glow, you could even soften this up a little more. But I'm just trying to, you know, knock this out. But yeah, there. That way we've kind of have like that old school look. And we might want to do the same thing with these white points. I don't know if we're going to make them more gray, or if we are going to. What if we just do like a 90, 70. 70% opacity. That way they kind of fit in, and they're not, you know, so harsh. They're still white, they're just now pinky. Take that. So what do we decide? 70? 70 is good. Okay, so does that kind of answer your background question? Katie, if you're still there? I don't know. Cool. The fact you can use arrow keys to make this like right is why I think a lot of illustrators who use Adobe Illustrator like will admit that they're not an artist. At least not in the like I can paint kind of art. They might be good at making their visions come real, but when it comes down to it, it's you can use this like an art. Like what I'm doing now, this is obviously all, you know, by hand, and you can get a hand pad and that a drawing pad, and that might help you out a little. But for the most part, you can always get better results by doing it mathematically, and that's why I think a lot of designers, you know, kind of reject being called an artist, mostly just to preserve that title for people who really, really are good at what they do. I just think this is just a little long. I don't know. I'm not in love with that swoop. Go ahead and go in. Maybe we can play around with the widths along the path line. I don't know if that's too whimsical. Yeah, they don't tend to play with their size too much. They tend to keep it thin and then have it come out. All right. We'll just keep doing the small, uptight work, which is what I actually prefer. I like the little detail work. Nah, I know what we can do here. We'll do a little flourish. Come in, select, rounded end, good, it's still there. Take our width tool, a nice little jump out, copy. All right, good night, Kimberly. Had the wrong tool. The width is 4 pixels. The width here is 3. I'm going to try and keep the width about even. Sorry about there. 4.5 pixels. And then we can take our dot friend. I'm just going to steal the color we've got going on over here. Starting smaller and getting larger as we go around to the more open space. Oh, did I accidentally? I think I might have. There we go. And like this is what's really cool is at this point you can start like baking in stories. Like we did 3 because there's in Kayla's family there's the mom and the 2 sisters, and so I'm doing 3 dots again and again to represent the 3 women in the family. And no, I didn't want to actually copy that exactly. I just wanted to copy the opacity. So like you could do something like that and give it a cool story, because as a designer, it's kind of like all art. Art's the meaning that you give to it. So if no one tells you and it means something to you, bam, it's art. Like it means it's impactful. But when you're designing, you have the same exact right to go in and say like, no, I did this because it represents, the 3 in their family, and I wanted it to be kind of like hidden about. I didn't want to make it front and center. And so that's where these 3 dots come from, is that it's the mom and the 2 daughters. We'll probably do, actually I'm just going to probably steal this shape and bring it over here, have it follow that one. Then we can take the top one and just adjust the So cool. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna probably keep cranking this out, but I don't want to keep you guys bored watching me. It's already been an hour and a half. I can't believe that. I'll spend my whole day designing stuff without realizing it's all gone by. But I have to cook dinner. It's 8:30, so I've kind of already missed the boat there. But thanks for watching, guys. Sorry I didn't have a video up this week. I will be putting a video up. I promise. I promise. I promise. A couple more up this week. I didn't even realize TARDIS was in the room. So sneaky, that kitty. But I promise I'll be putting a video up this week. I'm doing a 3-part series where I do composition, lighting, and how to use a digital SLR or a camera to get the best photos for taking photography. I know I did a lighting one for videos, and that was super easy, but the photography can be a little more tricky. Mainly because you can make it do things that you can't see with your eyes until the photo's taken. So, yeah. Alright, thanks for watching, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. And if you guys needed anything, I'm glad I could help. And if you didn't, thanks for tuning in. Alright.